Good evening. You're connected to The Next Word. I'm your host, Chris Warnke, and tonight we have a very special guest. We have Ambassador Carlos dos Santos from the beautiful country of Mozambique. Ambassador dos Santos started his career at the age of 19 and is now here in Washington, D.C. And you can say he really truly is a diplomat's diplomat. And you are, and I tell you, I'm so impressed with you, Ambassador.
Thank you very much.
When the first time I met you, I'm so happy. Thank you for being here, first of all.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Yes, thank you. This is wonderful. I have not visited Mozambique. Yes. One day I will, I hope.
We're hoping to welcome you in Mozambique very soon.
Thank you. But you've been here, when I said you're a true diplomat's diplomat, I mean, you've been in the United States because you were ambassador to the United Nations.
Yes, indeed. For 6.5 years in the mid-90s, from 96 to 2002.
Which was an exciting time.
Very exciting time.
You came here, was in 2016.
Yes.
Early 2016.
2015.
Oh, 2015.
End of 2015.
End of, okay.
Yes.
And you presented your credentials
to President Barack Obama.
In 2016.
In 2016, indeed.
But I've looked at your career.
Yes.
I mean, you've been an ambassador to some of the most important posts in the world.
Yes, I've been privileged to go to very important posts. I was in New York, as we just said, and then I went back home, and then from home I was appointed ambassador to Germany for 5 years, and from Germany I was covering Austria and the Holy See. So I was the first ambassador of Mozambique to the Holy See because we had to negotiate an agreement with them. We have a huge Catholic population, so we had an agreement, and then I was the first ambassador based in Germany, of course. And then after 5 years, I was posted to London. And because we were members of the Commonwealth, I was called High Commissioner of Mozambique to the UK. And while there, I was also accredited to Ireland. So I would go regularly to Ireland, and we did quite a lot there. And we were also covering the Commonwealth, because the secretariat of the organization Commonwealth is based in London, and all high commissioners are board members of the Commonwealth. So I was a governor of the Commonwealth at that time. And when I thought I was going to stay there for a little longer, I was then asked to come to the US, which was a great privilege, a great honor for me. I think it is for any country to come to the US, and US is a great partner of Mozambique, so it's great to be here.
Yeah, so we have to talk about this so let's talk about the relationship, because a lot of people don't know.
Yes, indeed.
Africa is a tremendously huge continent.
Indeed, it is. It is a huge continent. Yeah.
And each country is very different, as we know. And
yes.
So that's good to know. That that relationship is growing and strong. And
yes, indeed. We have had diplomatic relations with the U.S. since the 70s, almost a bit after independence of Mozambique. It started slowly with humanitarian aid from the U.S. to Mozambique, but then there was a visit by our first president, Samora Machel, to the United States, who met President Ronald Reagan then, and that generated a new impetus into our relationship. And we started a program of cooperation that went into education, into private sector development, into agriculture, capacity building in different areas. And today, USAID has one of the largest offices in Africa, is in Maputo, our capital.
Really?
And 70% of the funds that go to USAID from the US government, they are for health. And this is to implement PEPFAR programs and also to support HIV positive and prevention, but also, especially and quite importantly, to help build the health systems of the country.
Right.
And that has been quite successful. We have CDC there, the Center for Disease Control. They are part of this project. But the U.S. is also involved in other areas of development, private sector development especially, but education, governance, and we work together to look at these areas. I discuss these issues regularly with my colleague in Maputo, the U.S. ambassador in Maputo, and we discuss with the State Department. We go to Department of Commerce, Department of Energy, to look at the different projects that we can work together on. But during my time here, my idea is to also develop partnerships with academia, with universities, research institutions. It's also to branch out of Washington to go to the States, like Maryland. I have already started making contacts with Maryland government to develop some partnerships with some of our regions, but also to generate interest in terms of investment. And hopefully a lot will come out of that. And I hope to go to other regions and states.
That'd be great.
Not all the 50, but we are looking for those that can bring comparative advantage into our relationship. But I must say that our relations are good at political and diplomatic level. They are excellent. Economic development, development assistance is also good. And now we are trying to boost even further the business side of things. Yeah.
Which is like, so Maryland, so I just had the Deputy Secretary of State from Maryland on the show.
That's right.
A couple of weeks ago, and he and they put a lot of emphasis on sister state relationships.
Right. So I'm glad to hear that, because that's what we are looking for. That's what we are looking for. But we also start with the smaller institutions and then have them as part of this sister state program. I have already visited Maryland University, the School of Agriculture. We want to develop a program. Yes, it's huge. It's a wonderful one. And I have also met someone from the engineering department over there, and we are hoping to do things with them as well.
Oh, that'd be great.
Because these are the things that will make the sister relationship feasible or viable. Because it's not about writing an MOU, it's about doing things to nurture that relationship. And we also hope to get business people from Maryland to Mozambique, and also businesses from Mozambique to partner with Maryland business people.
That'd be great.
So we think we can do quite a lot.
Oh, that'd be great. And of course, Maryland University has Maryland Eastern Shore.
Yes.
Which is they're doing some really fascinating things in aviation and agriculture. As well. Pharmacy. So there might be some synergy with UMES, which I call University of Maryland Eastern Shore. But going back to Maryland University, I'm a graduate, some sort of prejudice.
Oh, really?
I'm really prejudiced from last night because of the women's basketball.
You have to build to help us build that relationship with the university.
And some very famous people have come out of the School of Engineering.
Okay.
The College of Engineering for the University of Maryland.
That's right. Okay.
So that's a good place to start.
Yeah, the one person I'm talking to about the engineering department is actually going back to teach, but she is a businesswoman and she does work with Mozambique as well. So she knows Mozambique and she knows the capacities of Maryland University, and she's going to help us build on those.
Well, I can help you as well, anything. Yeah. So I was just so pleased to see the women's basketball team from Maryland.
Yes, it's wonderful.
Which would be maybe a great partnership for the university in Mozambique.
No, we're trying to develop also those relationships in sports.
Absolutely,
and, we have been already speaking to the NBA, and they're very eager to work with us. And we have Clarisse Machongwana, who was WNBA star.
Yes.
But she's now retired, and she built a foundation, and she's also focusing.
Oh, that's wonderful.
In terms of the young people, training them, and all of that. So we would like to partner with the team. Maybe we can get them to do some play in Mozambique, just for people to see how Maryland plays. They can play with our national team.
That'd be great.
Something like that.
On one of my earlier shows, I had one of the original Harlem Globetrotters.
Wow.
And he's actually here in Maryland. I should introduce you.
I would love to meet him.
Yes.
Yeah, I would love to meet him.
Yes, Dwayne.
I saw the Globetrotters the first time in Harare. I was a junior diplomat at the embassy there, and they went to play in Harare. So I saw them many years ago in the 80s.
Oh my God, really? They're remarkable. They were here.
Yeah.
You know, I think they were here.
Yes, I saw that on TV.
You know, through sports, so many other good outcomes.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's the thing that links us all.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, not totally. Well, music, arts.
Yes,
of course. Right.
Of course. Yeah.
You know, of course, you know, for me, arts, and of course, you know, acting, and I've had actually several people on the show. You know, in the from the drama, but sports absolutely links us all. So it's a good. It's certainly a good way to penetrate that area. But I find you know, interesting. How many people have come and made, let's say, the Washington area their home, or from Mozambique? I mean, do you have like the Ethiopian American community is quite significant?
Yeah, but Mozambicans are not very many.
No, they're not. Right.
Yes,
compared to
the numbers we have are probably about 1,500 or 2,000, but not all concentrated here. We have a good concentration in Washington, D.C., Maryland, Virginia.
Okay, you do.
And then a group in New Jersey and New York area.
Okay.
And then we have students all over the U.S. studying, but those are coming for 4 years, 5 years, and then they go back to Mozambique. Oh, yes.
Oh, that's great. Okay.
Yeah, the students do go back.
Okay. Because the population is what, about 24 million?
25 million.
25 million.
Currently, yes, and growing.
Growing.
That's right. Yeah.
But they come and then they'll return.
That's right. We have huge immigration to neighboring countries because of work. We have many Mozambicans in South Africa, in Zimbabwe, where the economy is a little bit better. But now, because the economy of Mozambique is getting better, people are staying in Mozambique and working in Mozambique as well. But the largest number is in South Africa, the miners and agriculture, and all those areas.
I've heard this, yes, I've heard this. So when we come back, I want to talk about Zimbabwe, because I know you spent your early career
in Zimbabwe,
and learned all the diplomatic ropes,
indeed.
as they say.
Yes,
so we're going to take a short break and we'll be back.
Okay, great.
You're watching The Next Word. We're going to take a short break and we'll be right back.
That's slow, that's slow.
The average text takes your eyes off the road for nearly 5 seconds. Stop the texts. Stop the wrecks. Visit us at stoptext.rex.org.
You're watching The Next Word. We're back, and tonight we're having a conversation with Ambassador Carlos dos Santos from Mozambique. Ambassador, fascinated with Mozambique. I've never been there, but I need to go.
Yes,
as many people need to go.
Work on it. We have to work on it.
Yes, we do, because I mean, the beauty of it, from what I see and hear about, and that you're really starting to attract tourists, a lot of tourists.
Yes, we are. We are, and we can see the numbers of visas that we have to issue at the embassy. That Mozambique is a new destination that Americans and other people who live here are discovering that is a good place to go. And the great thing about tourism in Mozambique is that in the morning you can be by the seaside and enjoy the seafood, go to the beach, and also do snorkeling, diving, with very exquisite animals like dugongs and these whale sharks, huge ones. They say they are exquisite, but you find them in Mozambique. It's one of the few places that you find those animals there. And then in the afternoon, you can go and watch elephants and other wildlife like lions, giraffes. This is really all across the country. We have game parks in southern Mozambique. One of them is a transboundary park, which goes into Gonarenzo Park in Zimbabwe. And in South Africa is Kruger Park. In Mozambique is Limpopo Park. So it's one of the largest conservation areas in the world. And then in central Mozambique, you have Gorongosa National Park, which is going to be joined with Maromeu, which is another one. Gorongosa National Park is actually one of the best public-private partnerships in conservation that you can get.
Really?
An American organization, Greg Carr Foundation, joined the Ministry of Tourism and now the Ministry of Environment to work together to build that, rebuild the park because it was down for many years.
Oh, that's great.
Restock it with animals, and then they build a laboratory there. They have Ed Wilson, who is a great biologist from Harvard University. He spent time there looking at the animals, studying the animals, and writing about them. He wrote a book about Gorongosa National Park, and the title of the book is Window on Eternity. Oh, and he shows the park and the animal life there. And now they're working with different universities, Harvard, Princeton, Oxford University, in that lab. And the great thing about it is that they're also working with the communities around the park, teaching them about animals and teaching them to respect and to live well with the animals, and show that they can be a source of income for them, and also a source of promoting the country, and they can welcome foreigners and in that place. And the children, who are the future of the country, are also learning about this, and they go to the park and look at the laboratory, what the researchers are doing, and they get to know. And some of the young Mozambicans are actually involved in the work of the park. They're already part of this. And you find other parks in the northern part of the country, all big parks with lots of animals. So you can do that. And then we want to develop cultural tourism, because as you know, not many people know about the history of Mozambique. But when you were there, you discover that Mozambique, as we call it, is a meeting point of civilization. The Europeans, the Arabs, the Africans met in Mozambique and built something that is relatively unique,
very unique
in the region. And so it's a great place to visit.
And you have a very sophisticated traveler in our world today. Yes. And they want to not only have the beach, of course, but
that's right.
But they want to go to the park. They're very environmentally oriented.
They like conservation.
They like conservation,
Yes.
And what a way to do it.
And they want to learn the cultures of the people they visit, which is great. So
now, when I met you, you were on your way to Mozambique.
Yes, I was.
How do you? So, what would, if I was the viewers watching tonight? They said, this would be. Do they go
to Mozambique?
How do they go?
Well, different ways, but the most probably the easiest one is travel from Dallas Airport to Johannesburg Airport, and from there 45 minutes flight to Maputo.
Maputo being the capital.
The capital city of Mozambique. So that's how it. But you can also fly from here to Lisbon, and from Lisbon directly to Maputo, or you can fly to Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, and from there directly to Maputo.
There's a direct flight, right.
Or through Qatar Airways to Doha, and from Doha directly to Maputo.
Oh, great! There are lots of different ways.
So you have all these
lots of options.
Yeah, yeah.
This is great. Now, in 2011, did you all find natural gas on offshore gas?
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. What happens is that Mozambique was exporting natural gas, and it is exporting natural gas from southern Mozambique. And this natural gas is onshore. And it was based on 90 trillion cubic feet, which is huge, but not so big. Because what we discovered in offshore northern Mozambique is huge, very big. It's about 200 trillion cubic feet.
Wow.
Which can supply natural gas many times to the US. And all the big companies that are interested in oil and gas, like Anadarko, ExxonMobil, Eni from Italy, now BP and Shell are coming in to use the natural gas within Mozambique to do gas to power, gas to liquids, and petrochemical industry is really an exciting time. And we are now in the process of beginning to build the liquefaction facilities.
Oh, that's great.
One will be offshore, the floating LNG by Eni, and Anadarko will start one onshore. And this is going to happen now.
Oh my God!
Yes, yes.
Which was a huge tremendous development. Boom also for the economy, and
it's a great boost to the economy, and we want to use the resources also from natural gas to boost the other sectors of the economy, like agriculture, infrastructure development, tourism, energy. We want to make sure that all these sectors grow together. Instead of focusing only on natural gas.
Oh, absolutely. This is exciting.
Yes, and we also have other minerals like coal. I know coal is not very famous here, but the kind of coal we have in Mozambique is quite clean. The technology is relatively clean, and it's good quality, and we are using to export, but part of it is to generate electricity within Mozambique as well. And we have iron ore, which we're going to develop and do steel within Mozambique.
Well, that's tremendous.
Yes, and other
it's
minerals.
Exciting times then for the country.
Very exciting. And because you're a lady, you may be interested that we also have rubies.
Rubies. Oh
yes.
My God, my favorite.
Special rubies.
Now this we did not know. I did not know this little.
Yeah, we do have rubies in northern Mozambique, and some of it they were discovered recently.
I was going to say, it must be recent. I haven't heard about rubies in Mozambique.
In Mozambique, yeah. So some of it is being sold at the Singapore market at very high price. Yeah,
I'm sure.
Yeah, yeah. So this
and Pakistan, Thailand, and because normally you think of the ruby market.
Yes, exactly.
In Thailand and in.
Right, and we have other semi-precious stones. Yeah.
Really?
That's right. Yeah.
So it's very
tourmalines,
it's exciting times
grenades. It's very exciting times, and I think the economy has been growing steadily. We had a bad year last year, but this year it is the economy is recovering again.
Well, we just celebrated, St. Patrick's Day, and and I was fascinated to see, of course, that Ireland has given so much humanitarian aid.
Yes, indeed.
To Mozambique.
Indeed.
So, but there's a history there, and what
there is.
I understand.
Yes.
The population, the Catholic Church, and the missionaries.
Yes.
Were very involved in Mozambique, and.
Yes, I was privileged to be the ambassador of Mozambique to Ireland when I was in London, and we began before I was there. Cooperation, which started also as humanitarian, but now it's really development cooperation in different areas. And the beginning was contacts through missionaries, but those who had been in Mozambique started talking about Mozambique in Ireland, and that also generated interest from the government, and we got together and we discussed, and they decided to open an embassy in Maputo, our capital, and we also started this multiple accreditation to Ireland. And Ireland has been a good partner for Mozambique. Yes,
I was very interested in this.
Yes, we are hoping to learn more from their experience in agriculture, tourism, financial services, and also the fact that they host some of these big companies in Europe, like Yahoo, Google, Microsoft.
That could be interesting.
Yes. So we're trying to learn from them.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, when I saw your bio, and I said, my God, I knew that there was an Ireland connection, and I was actually very interested in this, and so I did some further research, and
yes,
I didn't realize how much Ireland has given in terms of aid, and one of the top. Really.
Yes, indeed, they continue to give, and they are very good partners of ours.
It's fascinating. Yes.
And we used to celebrate St. Patrick's in London and also in Ireland during my time there.
Yes. So
I would join the celebrations.
Yes.
Yeah.
And of course here, this is your this is your second St. Patrick's Day celebration in Washington.
That's right.
Yes.
Yeah.
But no, this has been wonderful.
Yes.
I very much appreciate you being with us, and
it's a privilege for me and a pleasure. I hope it's only the first of many.
Yes, many. So thank you, Ambassador. It was wonderful having you here. What an honor. Thank you, really.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. You've been watching The Next Word. You can see us 6 nights a week. Thank you for watching. Have a great evening. Good night.